Hey, baby. I'm good. I'm catching the next flight out to sea. Ever since I've seen your light, fell in love with the melody. I've been good since the first time. Oh, sparkling from your pretty eyes, sends me on a natural high, girl. I don't need no tricks tonight. Yeah, to them, baby, to them, baby, to them, baby, forever. I just wanna know you, to them, baby, to them, yeah, baby, to them, baby, to the end of time. Strong woman don't need nobody else, 'cause you've been handling your life by yourself. Said you want something more than material things, 'cause I just wanna be the bridge to love. Give you all the things more than imagine. I love you more than anyone has ever loved. So tell me, baby, to them, baby, we're gonna get started in a minute, y'all. Stone Paxton, Music and Life. Welcome to the channel. 12:30 ain't hit yet, but I want to come on a little bit early. You feel me? Play you some of this good music before I get started. This song is on the Zodiac Volume 1 album. For all those subscribers that have the album, this song is on that album. Some of that old song. We want this not to go higher. Make you feel good, so. We want this love to go higher. We want this love to go higher. We want this love to go higher. I thought you'd be waiting downstairs for me by Paxton. It's so good to see you. My flight was okay. Second to see you. Where did you park? Oh, yeah? So you've been ready to hug me. You've been thinking about this moment you and I being together. Makes me smile. To them, baby, to them, baby, to them. We're gonna play it. I'm playing that, Tawana. That's my intro. We're a little bit early. Gives me a chance to let some people get in here before I start. So I'm just playing you guys some Stone Paxton music until we get started at 12:30. We still have a couple more minutes. Let me play another one for you. These songs are on the In the Key of Love album. The song's called Black Coffee. Yeah. All the ladies in London. Step in. You wanna play tonight? Gotta get it tonight. Say you wanna feel it tonight. Oh, you gotta see this stuff live. Now live is crazy. A few more minutes, you guys. We're gonna get started. Share the live. Share the live. So you want it tonight, girl. You say your curiosity. Jasmine in the house. Jasmine in the house. Damage Kisses in the house. Sonia Comether in the house. Tawana in the house. Sweet Rain is in the house. Sweet Rain, what's up? Cambodian Mystique, my moderator's in the house. CC's in the house. So we're gonna keep building, y'all. Black Coffee, Boss Lady in the house. Sing right, night. You wanna make it feel alright? It's so cold. I wanna warm you up tonight. It's that blend, I can make it right. Black coffee tonight, this hit don't stop. I'll keep you warm. Can I hit it tonight? Can I hit it tonight? You want me, baby, tonight? You said you want tonight. Dim the lights, hold you tight. Play some jazz and let me do it. You say your curiosity, you're taking interest in me. Sometimes that's how it could be. You say you want the afro, but then you'll have to let go. That's how deep it can be. Tonight, I wanna get this thing right tonight. It's over today, I wanna make you feel alright. It's so cold. I wanna warm you up tonight. It's that blend, I can make it right. Black coffee tonight, this hit don't stop. I'll keep you warm. I wanna get this thing right. Let's get it started, y'all. Happy people. Where are my happy people at? Happy people, here we go. We're gonna get started. Let some more people come in. We're gonna start with the intro, which we always do. Start in and out. Happy people, here we go. Al Rock, what's up, Al Rick? Al Rick, what's up, family? Yeah, Danny's doing her thing, Al Rick. Pray for the world and hope for a better day. Ooh, we are made by desires. The world is now darker than light. One chance to make it alright. What is left is our future divine. What's up, Laverne? Happy people in the house. Let's go, y'all. Get up. Let's bring that energy up in this room before we get started. Yeah. South London in the house. You know, I got a lot of fans in London. A lot. Happy people in the house. Yeah. Listen. This song here gets me way too hyped up, you guys. I have to watch it. Because when I get started, I just want to let the song play 2 or 3 times. You feel what I'm saying? This is my song. When I wrote this song, I wrote it because the spiritual connection with the universe allowed me to write this song. It was a time period where something like this needed to happen way before COVID. And so this song gets me going. So I got to be careful. But it's about those happy people. Let's get started, y'all. Make sure you invite some friends into this live. South London in the house. I do have a lot of fans in London. My records always chart in the UK when I drop them. Usually in the top 5, top 2, my records do. And you know, people in the UK, they just love good music, man. You know, not that anyone anywhere else doesn't, but you know, people in the UK, they really just love good music. Share the live, you guys. I know that some melody was happening. I know that sometimes YouTube sometimes takes a minute to give people the signal or whatever, the little notification or whatever. So share the live. People typically, it'll pop up. And then some people get upset because they're like, I didn't know you were going live. And I'm like, yes, I go live 12:30 every day. I've made it a mainstay. Unless I change it up, we're going to do it that way. So let's get into this, you guys. The topic of the day. And by the way, I might just have another surprise interview. I might go live again because I have to see. I just got a call from Amir from Kool and the Gang, and I think he's going to come and sit here on the couch with me today, you guys. You know, Kool and the Gang's like my extended family. Always hanging with him, hanging out with him. And so Amir called me, and I think he's going to come and sit on the couch with me, which means I'm probably going to go live again and talk to you guys again, because I want to talk to him about his history as a artist, writer, producer, not just him being the brother of Kool, but I want to go back in his history and some of the groups that he's produced that will blow your mind. Some of the records that he's produced for those collectors of great vinyl, of disco records and stuff like that. Amir has produced from R&B to jazz. He's worked with tons of people and played on tons of records, as well as being a member of Kool and the Gang. So he called me, and I might end up going live again because I have to grab him because he's always on the road touring. So I will have to get that interview today. If he comes in, I got to grab it as soon as possible. Yeah, Melody, I know I don't understand what that's about, but we're going to keep rocking. Listen, and as we go, I guess YouTube does that to see if you're going to, you know, I'm starting to think maybe they do that to see if you're going to stay on and actually be on live. I think it's almost, don't get me wrong, but I really believe that it's a mechanism for them to see if people working, because to them, this is work. So it's kind of like your boss making sure you clock into your job. Maybe YouTube does the notifications after a period of time. They start sending it out to people, because I noticed after a period of time, my numbers go up. So I think maybe this is an inside internal thing they do to make sure their content creators are working. Think about it. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Like why they don't send out only so many notifications. They tell you maybe 3, but I think once you get on and you start, you know, going, then all of a sudden they start sending the notifications out more. That's just my thoughts. I could be crazy. Boss Lady, yeah, because I might have to do 2 lives unless I pre-record his interview while he's here. Now, I think I might want to just go live with it and let people catch it. If they don't catch it later, they'll catch it whenever they catch it. But I'm thinking about when he gets here, just going live again and having him on here. For people that want to ask him questions, because, you know, when you get a legend, you got to rock with it. And I got tons of legends that's been trying to get with me on interviews, so I got to get those while being around Angie taught me with the mistakes I made by not having Angie on my show when she wanted to get on my show. I regret that. So I would never do it again. And I made a promise that when my legends called me and they're like, okay, when can we do this interview, Stone? I need to do it right when they say. You know, I have to, no choice. Okay, you guys, let's get into this. Share the live, share the live. This is a deep topic, man. This is deep, man. And it's weird because I don't think a lot of people know about this. So when I discovered this, it was shocking to me, but not so shocking. Because if you think of the history, you think of American history when it comes to African Americans. And my thing is to educate African Americans, but not only that, educate non-African Americans to things that they've been through, so that way you understand what they've been through, and maybe you can understand African Americans better. Those that might be biased or prejudiced towards the history of an African American, or you possibly don't have an African American friend, or you feel like you know everything about them because you see the picture painted in movies and TV and the narrative, and you believe that. I'd like to continue to be able to educate you on the real African Americans and how African American people move, Black people here in America, okay? And the struggles that they've been through. Now, I'm sure everybody thinks they've heard every struggle, because that's what people will say. I've heard everything. I heard all the stories of Black people's in history. In school, they taught Black History Month. They taught about Black people in slavery. We're not just talking about that. That is a portion of it. That's a big portion of it. But my thing is to educate why certain things happen to the African Americans as opposed to happening to any other race. Why, and why. and the consistency and how many years that's been happening, and it still happens. The title of this video is called, it says, Skulls once subject to racist study in Germany are now laid to rest in New Orleans. That's not like a mistake. That's the title of this video. The skulls that were once used for a racist study in Germany are now buried, reappropriated back to New Orleans for burial. These are somebody's grandmother. This is somebody's aunt, somebody's cousin, somebody's daughter, possibly even somebody's grandmother. Okay? And you ask, why, Stone? Why? Why is there an issue with skulls being sent? Why is that a big deal, Stone? What's the big deal in this? Why are you making a big deal about skulls being sent back? Well, if you paid attention to what I said racist studies. And what would make it racist? Why is there R next? This thing is crazy. Why is there a racist study? Ask yourself that question. Why? Nobody's going to ask that question, you guys. Why is there a racist study, and why do they call it racist? Let's get deep into it, okay? We're not going to get on here with no BS. We're going to give you the facts. So let's go deeper into the story, because once again, if I didn't hear about this story, imagine how many African Americans didn't even know about this. In really studying life, I find so many great stories that I can share with friends, family, and my fans and people I meet on YouTube that I find to be stories that we should know. Because when you don't understand and know history, what happens? You're doomed to repeat that history, correct? So we need to know as much as we can about this. Let's go into the story, you guys, because I'm still in shock, somewhat. Boss Lady, thank you for the donation. Thank you for the $5 donation. I appreciate you, Boss Lady, always showing love. This is what keeps me being able to get on here and run my mouth and keep things going for my channel. Okay, so skulls once subject to racist study in Germany are laid to rest in New Orleans. It's not a made-up story. This is all real. Marie Louise was a lifelong New Orleans, okay, who died at a multi-nutrition. I don't know, multi-nutrition. I don't know if she was she had too many vitamins. You know how people take a lot of vitamins and stuff. It said she died of correction. They did a typo on this. It said mal, no, I said multi-nutrition. It said mal. How could you put out such a big article and make a mistake with that? I should have did a couple references on that one because they definitely misspelled that. She died of malnutrition, you guys. Hiram Malone came to Louisiana from Alabama. She came to Louisiana from Alabama, hospitalized at 21 with a fatal case of pneumonia. Okay, these are a few different people. Samuel Prince is one of them days. Got to get my words right. Samuel Prince was 40 years old. Hiram Malone was 21. And who else? There's another person. Samuel Prince was 40 years old. He was a cook. He succumbed to tuberculosis. So she was malnutrition. He succumbed to tuberculosis. And somebody else succumbed to pneumonia. There were 19 Black patients who died at once in New Orleans, which is weird. At once in New Orleans, they're hospitalized. This was a while back now, but I think it's important for us to know history, right? So this was a while back. This was 1870s. Why is this important? We'll get to that. This was in 1870. Now, their heads were removed by a doctor. I wonder if their families knew about this, but back then, I'm sure they probably didn't have that much control to what they could do with their family's remains. Like you couldn't say, no, you can't take a leg off my family. I don't think back then you had the power to say that, obviously, because they took their heads from the body. The doctor sent it to Germany. Their crania was studied as a specimen. Now they studying Black folks like they monkeys, y'all. This is the kind of shit that really gets me boiling. Even the usage of words. The crania were studied as a specimen, and what was then proliferating. Oh man, I don't understand how they can do this shit and how this shit supposed to be normal. Pseudo-science of phrenology and purported connections between someone's intellectual or morality, the size or shape of the skull, but some doctors theorize superiority of one race over another. So I can see why Hitler, I can honestly see why Hitler wanted to know. He wanted to know what makes these people who they are. Are they smarter than Europeans? I mean, this had to be his thoughts, because why would you be studying the brain of Black people, of African Americans? Why? And why, and particularly why? Because he could have got skulls from Africa. Think about this. It's kind of deep. Because now I'm going, okay, how come he didn't just get some skulls from Africa, which would have been easy, right? Go to Africa and they would have sold some skulls probably of dead bodies, or let them exhume some bodies and take the skulls. Why was it American Black people? Was it because he knew of the slave trade and he wanted to study the brains to see if that had some sort of effect on the brain as well, by studying them and seeing? I mean, it's hard for me not to believe that Hitler and Germany did not study it because of those reasons. But Hitler, I don't even think was even in control of Germany at that time. I'm not quite sure. I have to really, I want to make sure everything is right. But I think it's interesting that the Germans would study African Americans and the connection with them bringing 19 brains over to Germany instead of 19 brains from Africa. It was something about American Black people that they were curious about, right? Okay, here we go. Let's read more. It said that the skulls of 19 patients, blah, 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 Black to here. We can't be sure where they came from. Now it's saying, now here's the backpedal, which kind of pisses me off, right? It says, on Saturday, we're honored to multi-faith memorial laid to rest in jazz funeral rooted in New Orleans tradition. So they brought the skulls back and they buried them. But then it said, we can't be sure exactly where they came from. And so here we have them. And what are we to make of what happened to them? Eva Baham, a historian from Dillard University, said, stop calling me, people. She led the Cultural Reparation Committee, said during Saturday's service, you can be angry, you should be upset, rightfully so, but we can't stay there. So she's saying, Black folks, we can be upset, but we can't stay in that space. We have to figure this out and figure out what we need to do. And what does this mean? And why were we studied? Let's go do the research as to why. She's saying it's been done and over with. And it's like most Black people probably didn't know about it anyway. So nobody made a big deal about it. So why are we being upset about it, right? The remains were returned by the University of Leipzig, which is Germany, which is 2023. In 2023, they contacted the city of archaeologists in New Orleans, acknowledging the skulls. At least they were nice enough to say, hey, we would like to return these skulls to their rightful place of departure, right? The skulls have been acquired in a colonial context unethically, they said. The 2-year return process involved city, state, and academic institutions. It culminated in a notable international recitation and return of African American remains from Europe, with many remains still lingering in archival collections across the US and abroad at museums and universities. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm going to try to be the devil's advocate to this. It's going to be kind of hard because I'm Black. Researchers presume many of the 19 people had been enslaved, later moved freely after the Civil War, and eventually fell ill or were institutionalized in asylums before landing at the Charity Hospital in New Orleans. It was one of the nation's oldest hospitals, serving the city's poor for centuries. It closed due to damage from Hurricane Katrina. Wow, that place was from the 1800s until 2005. Damn, what a crazy run. That hospital had been open. The hospital death records helped Baham's team reconstruct some biographical moments of the 13 men and 4 women. 2 people are unidentified. So this is somebody's family members, you guys. Please understand that. What I don't understand is why, and we know, as Black folks, we already know this. We talk about this all the time. There's something about the Black DNA that even I don't think African Americans understand. We see little videos that are talking about the 666, which means melanin. It's a number for melanin, and it's a higher frequency number, which reason why they turn that into a bad word was because, a bad thought that 666 is connected to Satan and all that was because it was connected to our DNA. And so I did some research, and then there's verifiable elements that number is not a bad number, those 3 numbers together. And it is connected to the melanin in the DNA of African Americans on a higher frequency, right? So there's a study, and there's tons of other bodies that are sitting around in museums of African Americans that have not been put to rest because they have been studying them for centuries. And in the ones that have already been studied, they've never returned these bodies and the skulls of your ancestors or your aunt or your uncle. Oh, Mama Sean, thank you. She said, playing your live at the shop while I'm working on my clients. Oh, tell everybody I said hello, Mama Sean. Hello, clients. Thank you, Mama Sean. I appreciate you. Here's the thing, you guys. Not enough African Americans understand their history enough. We definitely are disconnected with our history from Africa, unless our great-great-grandmother or grandmothers have shared that history with us. But the worst part about it is we barely know what's going on here in the U.S. and what has happened to our people within the U.S. That's pretty sad. It's pretty sad because we deserve more than not knowing. So know that when you go to a museum and you probably see a skull, it could possibly be a skull of a Black slave. We don't know. It just stated that there's tons of skulls that were sent out within the U.S. that are sitting in museums that have not been reappropriated to their proper burial places. Those things bother me. That could be my ancestor. That could be my distant cousin, distant uncle, great-grand. It could be anybody. We don't know. But what I find to be interesting is the fact that we have been used for studies for centuries. I'm not making this about a black and white thing. I am making this about an educational thing. Problem with life is we don't learn about people's struggles. One thing about me, I've noticed that I've tried to make it my business to learn about every race and culture. And the reason being is when I sit and talk with you, I want to have an educated conversation about your history. In case you bring something up about your family and your family history and your race, I can have an educated conversation with you. And it doesn't have to always be about what your people did to my people, or what you feel like my people did, or what we said. It can truly be about us learning about each other. But typically when people are biased towards another person, it's truly because they have not yet begun to understand a struggle. I said it, a struggle, because there is a struggle in every race and culture. Now think about this, because we're going to get back to this, because this shit gets crazier. When the Quakers came to America, does anybody in here know why they came? This is why I find certain things in history interesting, and it's important for the younger generation to study. The Quakers came to America because they said they were being persecuted. They said they were being persecuted. We study this in American history, and for those of you that didn't pay attention in class, then you missed it, because you should go back and study so you learn a little bit about everybody, so you know what you're talking about when you have a conversation. The Quakers came to America You know, you see the Statue of Liberty, that they saw that, and the Quakers came, and a lot of people came. But specifically, the Quakers came first, and they said, because they were being persecuted in their country. Then they came here, and we saw what happened to the Indians. Not only that, do we really believe that somebody came here and taught the Indians how to plant corn, how to do this, how to do that? Come on now. The Indians that were living off of the land, and now we get thanks every year to a situation to where somebody was being persecuted and they came over and they suppressed other people. Those are the history elements that I want to make sense, and they don't. Because in one respect, you want somebody to give thanks to somebody that created a holiday called Thanksgiving. You want somebody to give thanks to you for creating something that caused a demise of damn near destroying a full generation of Indians. But we're supposed to give thanks. You see, the thing, there's an understanding here that's been missed. When history is not understood and learned, it will be repeated. The Quakers forgot what happened to their asses. And so they began to come to America, and they did what they felt they needed to do. Oh, we're going to teach you how to plant corn. And the Indians probably did this like, huh? Shit, we've been planting all kinds of shit. It was like, what? Teach us how to plant corn? That's a seed that goes in the ground. They already knew this. These people, these Indians, these people were already living off the land. You can't teach somebody who already knows what they know. But you, in history, you can write it. If I control the history books, I can say Stone named Las Vegas. I'm the one that named Las Vegas in the body, you guys. Did you know that? No, yeah, look in the history books. You see, the history books are recorded by the powers that be, that control those history books. So the narrative can be controlled. The Indians didn't control the history books. You can write whatever you want to write when you control that narrative, as we can see what's happening to things being undone that were done for the African-American community when it comes to civil rights. And those things are being undone. That's called rewriting history, by the way, which is what the Quakers did. They were being persecuted. They came over and persecuted people. Oh, well, we don't talk about that story, by the way. Nobody wants to have the conversation about what happened to the Indians. Those same people that said they planted and they taught them how to plant. Do you really think they continue to teach them how to plant? No. It was a genocide that went down, you guys. You know that. Mpxone said, just like the Gulf of, what'd you say? It's just like the Gulf of America. Yes, exactly. Mpxone, you see, right? The Gulf of America. We Americans, we ain't gonna go against our own situation, but that's interesting. We're talking about rewriting history. Look how that's been rewritten. If you can rewrite that, what's to say you couldn't change? We've called black people really, really dark black people now. Yeah, we changing and passing a law. All black people now will be called really, really black people. And white people, we're going to call them the purest white. And we're going to call Asian people the yellow ones. But they got to compete with the Mexicans, because Mexicans call themselves brown and yellow sometimes too. It's just like somebody going and trying to rewrite all that. Right? It's what we're dealing with. So when black people say to you, you know, and I can only speak for myself, and I'm sure there's other African Americans, and I understand anybody who's not black, this conversation is not about racism per se. It's about educating you on the terms that were agreed by your forefathers that we did not agree to at all. We're not on here beating up no race. We're on here educating. We say we want to know each other. How do we get to know each other? The truth is the only way we're going to ever get to know each other. But the problem is, as soon as an African American decides to start speaking anything remotely close to being honest, here we go. We hear certain words, you guys, and those words go like this. Well, slavery's over with. Oh, you guys, come on, you guys are good now. You get everything you want. Well, you guys are fine. Like how you can control the entertainment industry. You got football, you got the music. You guys got all the black actors. This is what we get. As African Americans, when we want to talk on these subjects that have affected us, we have to talk amongst each other. Because when we want to talk to our white counterpartners or friends or, even, people of other races, it's so easy for people to throw it under the rug. And they use these terms. Oh, you guys are ranting. And that's just a way of saying they don't want to hear it. And you got to remember, I have Irish in my blood. I can show my DNA is Irish in my blood too, a very small percentage. Right? How did that happen? Let's be honest. But I recognize that. So with all of my friends that are European, no matter if they're here in Vegas or not, I'm very honest with them. We have honest conversations. Honesty is the core of relationships. Honesty is the core of understanding and being able to get somewhere long-term as friends. If I can't tell you the truth about what you think about Mexican people, even if you my white buddy and you talk about Mexican folks, I shouldn't even be laughing at the jokes. Think about what I'm saying. Everybody says, oh, racism is something, I don't know why everybody needs to get along. But here's the truth. If you were talking to me and you mentioned something about a Mexican person, I'm going to say, hey, I got Latinas in my family too. I'll go, hey, I ain't trying to hear that joke. I don't think that shit's funny. The understanding starts with us checking people coming to us about other races being derogatory, especially if we've been racist against us. There's been that sort of racism in our community with the genocide that's been going on. So it starts with us. It starts with everybody saying enough is enough. Can it be changed in our lifetime? It might not this lifetime, but there can be an understanding where our kids and grandkids can pass on that understanding of respect because they get to know each other. One thing I don't allow people to do in my life, in school and different things, I've had people say, oh, but Stone, you're different. Stop. Don't do that. Don't do that to me. Don't give me the Stone, you're different dialogue. No, there's still black blood that runs through my veins. Don't do that shit to me. That's another thing as African Americans you have to be careful with, because if you're hanging amongst people that are not black and you get accustomed to it, you start thinking you ain't black no more. And you start believing that shit, because you can believe it when your lifestyle's different and you're not around. See what happened to OJ? He got caught up a little bit. He started believing he was white. And then when the shit went down, whether he did it or not, America still thinks he's guilty. America still thinks he's guilty. You see what I'm saying? You got to know who you are first to understand somebody else. You got to know what your forefathers did and be able to say, this happened. Did you notice what they're trying to do in schools by taking the critical race theory out of school? Like, oh, critical race theory is critical race theory. We don't want to talk about that. We don't want to hear about our ancestors, our grandchildren growing up, hearing about them, their great ancestors and all that, enslaved black people and other people and Asian. Because black people weren't the only ones that were enslaved. There was Asian people in this country enslaved too. The Chinese that were working on the railroad, they were enslaved too. Don't believe, go study your history. They unlived a lot of them too. Okay? So and this is why it's funny when I see even Asian Americans speak, and I'm always educating them, like, you do know your people were enslaved too here in America. You do know your people went through all kinds of stuff. Auntie Mickey, absolutely. They're trying to erase Black history, and they continue to try to erase Black history. And, you got all these people, Black is cool until you're Black. I always tell my white friends, you wouldn't want to be Black. And they, oh, no, I would. I say, no, you wouldn't, bro. Trust me, man. You might be when you hit the club and hit the dance floor. You might be when you want to have certain kinds of talent. But no, you wouldn't want to wake up Black, because it's a whole different experience when you're Black. And I can't explain that to you. I've had my white friends ask me, my Asian friends ask me, and I told my Asian buddy, I said, the thing with you as an Asian, y'all sit at the table with the white folks now. They don't look at you guys as a minority. They actually look at you as a white person, they're cool. They love the Asian women. White men love the Asian women. So you guys get a pass. Y'all don't get looked at the way y'all used to back in the day. You guys get a pass. I've actually had my friends ask me, how does it feel to be black? I laughed at it at first. Leanne, hi. Not just Japanese, Auntie Mickey, Vietnamese and Cambodians, because America didn't trust them at the period of time when they brought them over. So it was crazy at that time. They had them in concentration camps, Long Beach and all that shit, because they didn't trust them. They didn't know where they stood. So they had to watch them for a minute until they was like, oh, they're cool. You see, the thing is, imagine having a person say, and only black people will understand this, how does it, no offense, Stone, but I mean, I just couldn't imagine, how does it feel to be black? I've had people ask me that damn question, and I laugh exactly the way I just laughed. How does it feel to be black? Wow. All I can tell you is it's an experience that we've had to learn how to survive with. Sherry, what's up? Being an African-American is not a curse. Remember that. Being black is not a curse. I know there were certain Bibles, like the Mormon Bible, they had threw that up in there initially, that black was a curse. That's bullshit. That's all part of the rewriting history. You see, when they study you and they see how powerful you are, Godfrey Asengo said, Mr. Stone, I notice most Germans today don't relate to what their ancestors did. Most of the young ones, 25 to 40 years old, don't even know the full extent. I live in Germany, and most of them are cool. Yes, Godfrey, you know what's so interesting? Me going to Germany and performing, you're right. They freaking love me. Let me tell you a story. This one's going to crack you up. It's true story. True story. My buddy that works for my company, you can go on my company site, Brand Artist Coalition. His name is Jano. He's African, but he speaks German and probably 4 or 5 other languages. He was here in America. He used to bring people from Germany. He had brought this young lady to my house. This was so cute and funny. And this is when I had my locks and my hair was all the way down my back. This young lady was infatuated with me. Completely so infatuated that after he left my house, she somehow found her way back to my house in a cab at 2 or 3 in the morning. And I was like freaked out when somebody knocked on my door, because I answered my door with the pow pow. I was like, who's at my door at this time? I opened the door and it was her, and she barely could speak English. She said, I come to you. I was like, huh? How you get here? And I'm looking at the cab driver like, hey. He's like, see you later. He drives off. I call my buddy and tell him that she's there, but he was sleeping. He didn't answer his phone. I'm constantly calling. But to sit there and listen to her try to speak to me in German and telling me, ich liebe dich, ich liebe dich, ich liebe dich, ich liebe dich. And she taught me, oh, ich dich auch. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm learning a little bit of German. But the fact that she was very infatuated with the Black culture, she had no elements of racism in her. She wasn't trying to be biased. From the time she saw me, she was completely infatuated. Same thing happened when I went to Germany. Nothing but love. Every time I am in any city overseas, it's been nothing but love. But you're right, the younger generation doesn't know the history. Because even when I'm overseas, I have conversations like this with the elders, because I like asking questions. How was it back in the 20s here? How was it back in the 40s here, if you were alive? I ask questions to elders in every country I go, Japanese or China. I will pull the elders aside. If they can't speak English, I'll make somebody translate, because I want to know what they went through. I want to know the history of that time. Godfrey said, yes, English is tough here. Ich liebe dich. Yeah. Hey, Godfrey, like, yes, like she taught me that, right? And then she was very amazed with my skin. She kept looking at my skin and she was touching it and she was just infatuated with the skin. I thought that was amazing. That was back in 2005. I remember that because I went through my divorce at that time, right? Thing is why is Black such a thing to be feared when it should not? Why is it a thing to be feared when it should not be? Let's get back into some more reading because we're going to go deep with this one. Medical exploitation of Black people in America goes far and beyond the cells stolen from Henrietta Lacks. Henrietta was the lady I mentioned earlier with the skull. Oh my God. The cells of the Henrietta Lacks that produce modern day miracles. Can we go deep? Hold on. Can we go deeper with this, you guys? Can we go a little bit deeper? See, we're going to break it down. See, there's a lot of shit y'all don't know that they know. The powers that be that control and run everything know what's up. It's just that most people don't know what's up. Do you guys think it's a coincidence they're studying African-American brains? Whenever you see things like this happening, you see Black women disappearing across the country. I want you to go look up the number of African-American women and young Black men disappearing at an alarming number. Should you think that this is complete coincidence? Do you think that Black people disappearing at a high level is alarming and normal? Do you think African Americans that disappear every day, a woman could walk down the street and all of a sudden nobody sees her no more and nobody makes a big deal about it, and she just goes on the missing list and that's it, and then that's it. It keeps repeating itself. Do you really think this is a coincidence? Do you think that this is just something random going on and nobody, hey, it's not a big deal. People disappear every day. Oh, don't worry about it. She'll show back up. She's probably mad at her boyfriend, upset at her husband. Maybe she went off with another man. That's usually the theories until it's not. Please pay attention. Black women, please pay attention. Black men, please pay attention. This is more than just being Black, but then again, it's being Black. There's something special about your DNA. And if you have not studied why, then shame on you. Because I suggest every Black person dig deep in these motherfucking books and learn why your people are disappearing every day. Y'all think it's because they just don't like Black folks. You know, they don't like us. Nah, stop it. It's deeper than them just not liking you. No, they actually love the fuck out of you. Oh, they love you. This is not about not like. This is actually about adoring and just being amazed and infatuated over what your body represents and what's inside of your body and what it can do for what's needed. On a level of spiritual, and on a level of actually physical, the things that could heal people that Black people have in their body. See, I'm not making this shit up. So I want not just Black people to go study this. I want my white folks friends, my Asian friends, my Indian friends. I want y'all to go study. I want y'all to go study what I'm saying. So you don't think I'm just making on here, running my mouth, just making shit up. You see, here's the thing. You talk on topics like this, it should be tons of people learning. If I was talking about dragging somebody or, you know, a celebrity, I'd have 500 people in here. But I'm happy with the people I have in here now because it's still a learning lesson. And those that miss this will come back and see it. True education starts within the mind and ability to want to learn and know more. The ability to want to learn more and truly research and learn more. You see, there was a time where Black folks thought that reading was the greatest gift that you can have because it was taken away from us. And then when it became common, nobody really cared about it. You actually have more Black women that read these days than Black men do. And that's a fact. Percentage-wise, then you have a lot of Black people in the Black community that can't read. So people like myself and other people on YouTube that are willing to get on here and share the knowledge and research and give it, it should matter enough for us to take it in. We are missing our people in our community. We are losing Black men and women every day because somebody wants to, Sabar, hello. Somebody wants to study somebody wants to study. Somebody wants to study somebody's body. Somebody needs melanin. Somebody needs something, an eye. Somebody needs a heart. Somebody needs a kid. I'm just saying what I see. And what I'm saying is online. I just don't think you guys understand the rate of what's going on. Let's get back into reading. Oh, man, this is crazy, man. In a case revealed, the exploitation of a Black woman beginning in the 1950s and extending for 70 years. Thermo Fisher Scientific Inc. in 2023 settled a lawsuit that the state of, wow, her family went after him. The state of Henrietta Lacks had filed against the biotech firm for its role in what the lawsuit called a racially unjust medical system. So the family sued this company called Thermo Fisher Scientific Inc. in 2023. Wow. So there was a study they extended for 70 years on this African-American woman. Family, I love it. The family went and sued later on. So imagine that. They did the proper, fair bidding for their ancestor by taking these people to court and suing. They studied her. They used the DNA, obviously. It was filed against biotech firm for its role in what the lawsuit called unjust medical systems. In 1961, Lacks was diagnosed with cervical cancer at Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, one of the only hospitals in the area that would treat African Americans at that time. During her treatment, a sample of her cancer cells was taken without her knowing or her consent. In the lawsuit, Thermo Fisher was accused of unjust enrichment and illegally profiting from Lacks' genetic material. Peep that out. Did y'all hear what I just said? They took a piece of her genetic material and they were using it. Maybe in stem cell research, maybe for stem cells, because I know that a lot of shit has the stem cell shit in it. And the only way to get that, you know how you can get that quick, right? You know how you can grab it quick from another body. Okay, check this out. It says that Lacks genetic material, Black suffering has fueled medical progress and profits without just compensating or recognizing the lawsuit, it said. So without recognition of the lawsuit, it said. So in other words, they were profiting from these different things that they were using from her cancer cells taken from her body without her consent or her family, and they had profit. Now, I'm assuming they probably came up with some sort of cures from using this or some way of using this to use it within that community of cancer technology and, shall I say, like cancer discovery and things like that. And so Henrietta's cells, known as HeLa cells, wow, here we go, known as HeLa cells, have had profound impact on medical science. Yo, that's deep. Henrietta's Lack cells, her last name is Lack, Henrietta Lack cells, known as HeLa cells, interesting, have had profound impact on medical science since they were first taken from Lacks in 1951. Those cells have contributed to the development of polio vaccines, research into cancer studies on the effects of radiation and toxic substances, gene mapping, you already know what gene mapping really is, and countless other scientific pursuits. Gene mapping is like stem cell shit. But nearly all of these advancements happen without her and her family's approval or compensation. Here we go, you guys. Do you know how long this has been going on in the African-American community? How long this has been done to us? Now, I will not sit on here and tell you that this has not happened to any other race. We'll do some shows about that. I'm just letting you know what Black people have dealt with for years. And if you want to understand them, get to know them. And for Black people that don't know what the fuck is going on, you better start reading. Lack is one of the most well-known examples of medical exploitation on a Black body. It is far from the only example. Medical abuse is part of Black history. I mean, you guys have to know that. How many of your family members have been in the hospital and some weird procedure happens and then all of a sudden they pass away and you're like, I was just talking to them, they was cool. And sometimes you might think that that was normal, but that could have possibly been by design for whatever other reason, wanting a kidney, needing an eye. I mean, I'm just saying. Studies are always ongoing on Black people, literally. Studies are always ongoing. Remember this. Crazy shit, man. This is just nuts. A plan to advance racial equity in the future, but they say minimal attention has been afforded to the deep historical roots of anti-Black racism in the medical industry. Medical exploitation and intentional abuse of members of the Black community is often overlooked part of Black history. But understanding the issues is critical. In order to better analyze today's mistrust of the medical professions by many in the Black community, here's another thing. This is why Black people don't trust hospitals. Black folks do not trust hospitals. Let's go even deeper. You guys remember this, the Tuskegee experiment is one of the most well-known examples of medical exploitation in the Black community. The federal government in the USA from 1932 to 1972 lied to around 600 men about receiving treatment for syphilis. They were studying the effects of syphilis in the men, but did not, in fact, treat in 399 of the men. So basically, the men are shocked to find out that the study lasted 40 years. They told these men, oh, we're going to heal you of syphilis, but they weren't healing them. They probably was injecting more in them. I'm assuming, I'm only assuming, but they never healed them. The plan was not to heal. The plan was, let's see how strong these Black bodies are. Let's see, oh my God, let's see, you know what, let's put more in them and see what it does. Wow. Let's see what it does to their body. We could use this for study in the future and come up with some cures and stuff. Yeah. That's what was happening. This, thus, is the truth. Let me read some comments. Cheryl said, Henrietta Lacks, 1920, 1951, was an African-American woman. Yes, she was, taken without her knowledge. Yes, absolutely. Her cells known as helicity. Yep, you just read exactly what I said. Thank you, Cheryl. Cheryl, I'm bringing your ass up on the panel next time. Don't be acting like you can't come up here. Cheryl ain't here she's doing my work. Thank you for doing my work, Cheryl. But I'm gonna bring you up on this panel. You want to come up here now and put some game down, Cheryl? Come on, let me know. I'll send you the link. Matter of fact, hold up. I'm gonna do an invite. Chum on, as Michael Jackson says, Cheryl. Chum on up in here, Cheryl. Chum on. Chum on, Cheryl. Chum on, Cheryl. Chum on. Come on up in here and talk. Talk Black to me, Cheryl. Come on. Yeah, you know, sorry, you guys. I don't know. I got kicked out of my live. That was really strange what just happened. I literally got kicked out of my live. Anyway, let's go. Here's the thing. The Tuskegee experiment, a lot of Black people didn't know about it around the 80s. Some did, most didn't. Now it's more familiar. Black people are becoming more sharp about what's going on. Well, Cheryl, you up in my comments spitting game. You're spitting for me. So next time I'm bringing you up. I don't care what you say. Hey. But yeah, you guys, here's the thing. The African American community, if we're very sharp people, very, very sharp. But if we study more, thank you, Spider Woman. I hope I said that right. Thank you, Spider Woman. Listen, if we study more, there's power in our studying. There's power in knowing what is really going on in our community. There's power in this. If we are on this earth every day and we lack the knowledge of learning, and we lack the knowledge of teaching and educating each other, passing on the knowledge that we need to know to maneuver through our daily changes every day. Sherry, thank you for the $50 donations. Sherry says, Stone, your shows have become very educational, quite needed. Great work, and a quick hello to Meech and to Meechum, baby, and Meech. Say hello. Hello, Meech. Sherry says hello to you, Meech. Listen, the foundational element of our community is going to be based on information like it's always been. Although we know that sometimes our information is not properly being passed the right way. Thus the reason we need to make sure we constantly self-educate. You don't have to go to college to be educated. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying you don't have to, because the education is in learning. It's in the books. There's nothing wrong with going to college, but you got to remember, you got to pay for that shit when it's done. Tessie said, Sherry, if you want to come live, we need you to write commentary and publish it. You are a fountain of truth. Yeah. Sherry, don't be up in here trying to run my live and you don't want to come live, Sherry. I'm not Sherry, but Cheryl. Cheryl, don't be trying to come up here. My lives, you don't want to come up on my panel. Shit. I'm messing with you, Cheryl. Listen, I'll say this again, all jokes set aside. You got to have a plan, or we're just kind of like walking zombies. There's a lot of smart people on this earth. I won't go biblical today on why I feel Black people could be some of the smartest people on this earth. I believe that God blessed us, and I know he did, with certain insight, but we don't use it right. So that makes us sometimes the dumbest people on this earth, because we take that and we use it the wrong way. If we knew how many missing Black men and women there are right now, we would probably stop talking about the things we shouldn't be talking about. And we'd be talking about, we'd be talking about what we needed to do to curb that. I saw this young Black lady walking the other day. Let me tell you what I said to her. It was late in the evening. Hold on. I'll tell you what I said to her. I out of my window, I said, young lady, be careful walking this late. You know what she did? That's what she did to me. Now, I wasn't trying to holler at her. I wasn't trying to hook up with her. Cheryl said everyone should have a financial and healthcare directive in place, especially if they are single. Without these documents, critical decisions about your financial and medical care could be made by the whoever state or by family members who may not align with your wishes. Absolutely. She waved her hand at me. I knew then she probably get a lot of guys that try to talk to her, but I wasn't concerned with talking with her. I was really concerned. Here's another young Black lady walking late at night in areas that were dark areas. So my concern is thinking, man, like, if somebody really wanted to get this woman, all they got to do is pull up and just grab her. Men are going to always be stronger than women. That's just a fact. All it takes is one strong guy to grab her. This is my thoughts, right? I'm just thinking, like, if she was my sister. Because truth is, this is happening every day. The bodies are disappearing. They're finding skeletal remains all across the country of African-American women, and nobody knows what's happening. Or when it does happen and they find somebody hung, they say we did it ourselves. Check this out. In 2022, over 97,000 Black women were, yo, this is crazy. Let me read this again. In 2022, 97,000 Black women were reported missing in the United States, according to the National Crime Information Center. This represents over 36% of all reported missing girls and women, despite Black women and girls comprising of only 14% of the U.S. female. This is crazy. Black women comprise of only 14% of the U.S. female. God damn it. And there's 97,000 Black women reported missing in the United States up to this point. That means that Black women and girls go missing at a disproportionately higher rate in the United States compared to the representation in other populations. It's also important to the role that these statistics likely underestimate the actual number of Black women and girls who go missing, as some cases may not be reported to law enforcement. Factors such as class, relationship, or law enforcement's language barriers and citizenship status can affect either someone's reports and or missing persons. So they're saying that this 97,000 and the 36% of all reported, that's all that's being reported. There could be a lot more Black women missing. It's just that somebody has not reported them, or a family member might think, oh, she ran away, she was some boy, or you know what, she divorced her husband and she just left. She didn't want to be bothered. And when you're a grown up, right, and you go missing, they will say, well, they're a grown up. We're not going to check back 48 hours. They're grown. They might be doing whatever they want to do, unless it's a child. So what about the ones that go missing that are not reported? Right? What about the ones that are not reported? What do you think is going on, you guys? We got a lot of studies on Black people. We understand that melanin in the Black. Let me tell you something. I did some research. I'm going to show you guys something. You think I'm joking? This is what I love. I love sharing the things that most people have no idea about, right? This is going to be a shocker. Watch this. This is going to shock the heck out of you guys, because it blew my mind. When I found this out, with all these women that were missing, I just happened to do some research and it blew my mind, right? Okay, check this out. Do you guys want to know about melanin, right? Melanin goes per ounce provided by the results. Melanin goes for, let me see. Let's see if it went up. Hold on a second. We're going to see what it went up to. Oh no, I don't want that. Because it went up. At first it was like $300 an ounce, but I'm trying to see how much it went up to. Oh, give me 1 second. When I was initially doing research a couple of years ago, it was like at $300 an ounce for melanin. It'll blow your mind, man. Truly blew my mind. Then I knew something was going on, right? You got all this product now that sells that has melanin in it. It protects your skin, you know, better than the regular suntan lotion. The shit is really crazy what's going on right now, you guys. Okay, here we go. You know what I'm noticing too, you guys? This shit is interesting. I'm noticing a pattern. Now, typically, if you search for how many ounces melanin was going for or selling for, it would pop up. Within the last 2 or 3 years, I'm noticing even on Google, you don't even see it like that anymore. It's like no longer there like it used to be. I kid you not. I kid you not. Like if you Google it now, it doesn't pop up like it used to. Now, I do believe that that's by design. Hold on. Crazy, man. Oh yeah. Yeah, they're you guys, let me tell you something. There's definitely something going on for sure. Wow. I once used to be able to find this with no issues. No longer am I able to find this. I used to literally be able to find and key in. That's how I know it's $300 an ounce that melanin was going for. And I remember screenshotting it and putting it in my notes. This is like 3 years ago. And you got all these bodies disappearing, and all of a sudden that information is hard to find. And when you Google that, only certain things come up. So I'll say this, there's something bigger going on, you guys. Linda, what's happening? Yes, a woman's work is never done. Hi, Linda, thank you. See, I was right. You see, Cheryl, thank you, Cheryl. Cheryl said lab grade melanin can sell for 300 to 500 per gram, depending on the purity and application. Now, Cheryl just proved my point right. I just told you guys the last time I checked, it was 300 something, right? It's 3 to 5 now. Cheryl just spit it, right? The facts right there for you, right? That's according to Chat GPT. Cheryl, that's what I should have done, because Chat GPT gonna give you the business on it. Why? Think about this, you guys. Why is melanin going for so much money? And do you think that it's a coincidence Black folks are disappearing like that? 96, 97,000 African-American women disappeared, and ain't nobody screaming and shouting on TV and picketing about this. They just like, well, there's nothing we can do about it. When if this was 96 or 97,000 of any other race, it would be an outrage and a roaring going on within the communities. There's something going on, you guys. Yeah, I had Chat GPT. I need to bring it down on my other phone again, Cheryl. Thank you for that. But thank you for confirming what I said, Cheryl. I really appreciate that. You guys, African Americans are disappearing at an alarming rate. Melanin is going for $300 to $500. I said that in the beginning. I said last time I checked it was 300. That was 3 years ago. Now it's 3 to 5. Do you really think that Black folks is disappearing and they just all on some little island somewhere and they all saying, yeah, we're all here together, all 97,000 of us. You guys did great. Let's see if we can get more to come here. Do you guys really believe that Black people somewhere on some little southern town where all 97,000 women and created all women's town, and that's where all these people then disappeared to? Where are these women? Where are these women? It's a question that all Black folks should be asking, and white folks that are concerned with your daughters too. Because if they can get Black daughters, they can get your daughters too. Asian women, you should be concerned with your daughters too. Because if they can get Black daughters and Black women, they can get yours too. Where are they? Why are they not where they should be? And how come nobody's saying shit? This shit is just kind of crazy. Watch this. We're going to go deeper. The shit's annoying to me, and I'm bothered by this. I'm bothered by this. I have nieces. I have cousins that are Black women. What happens if they, what happens when they get in their car at Walmart? That's why I tell my lady friends and Black women, make sure you don't park next to no vans that are by themselves, just sitting there, a white van, any kind of van. Don't park next to them. Park as close as you can. Don't park far. Pay attention from the time you leave your house to the time you get in your car. And Pay attention while you're driving home. Check this out. How come we don't have black men talking about this shit? This is annoying, man. This is annoying. Like, it really is truly annoying. There has not been a list provided yet for 2025 yet. Hold on, for 2020. I didn't ask that. You know, it's just sad, man. Now, they're still giving a list for 2022, but GPT will give you a list for 2025. But they're saying there is no missing list for 20. How is it that we had 97,000 missing in 2022, but they have not come out with the list for 2025? But I bet you Chat GPT will give us that. LT said, why are we this way? Why aren't we our brother's keepers? Why are we quick to tear one another down rather than try to lift us up? LT, we're gonna get on that one, but we talking about these missing sisters, brother. But you know why? It's that crabs in the bucket, brother LT. It's crabs in the bucket. We're trying to figure out right now what's happening with these studies on black folks that's been happening since the 1800s and is still ongoing. And there's been cases of companies being sued, finding out that their families' DNA was being used to cure cancer and all kinds of other stuff, LT. And there's 97,000 black women that disappeared in 2022, LT. I'm trying to get a figure on what has happened in 2025. Why? And how come there isn't a list from 2025? I think there isn't one because they know if it's 97,000 in 2025, oh my God, can you only imagine? Here's the crazy part. They don't have a figure for 2025, but the data indicates that it's a significant number of black women remain missing. Make that make sense. That's super crazy. So you tell me you don't have the data, but you still say, well, it's still, it indicates that that there is still a big number of black women being disappearing in 2025, but you can't give me the number. This is what it says. There is high number of black women still missing in 2025, but we just can't give you the number, you guys. They don't want to give the number. Are you guys looking for my Cash App? Because if you are, that's it right there. See that right there? That's my Cash App. I don't know why it's not. It should show up as that, I thought, right? Unless I'm supposed to put a link in there. I don't know. Let me see if, I don't know. I guess I'm supposed to put a link in there. I'm not quite sure. Let me try to put a link in there, you guys. I'm sorry. My apologies. Sorry about that. All right, I'm going to put my link. I'm going to put the correct. I don't know if I can put it in there now, though. Let me see if it'll let me. Let's see if it'll allow me to put. Oh, yeah, I think it will. Oh, hold on. I think I can edit it. Okay, hold on. I think it'll let me edit it, you guys. I'm sorry, man. I don't know. I'm new to this stuff, so forgive me. Forgive me. Because I am definitely new at this. So let's see. We can add this really quick. Uh-huh. Okay, hold on, you guys. I don't know. This thing is doing weird stuff. But listen, you guys, listen. There's definitely something going on right now, and we need to. I don't understand why there's not enough people that are reaching out to your local authorities, asking what's going on. I don't know why there's not enough people doing that. I'm not sure why not, and why people are not doing that. Give me 1 second again, you guys. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, there we go. All right, you got it, you guys. Here we go. I'm going to add that proper right Cash App because I thought I had the right one. My apologies, you guys. I'm new at this, so forgive me if I seem to make mistakes. I'm new at this StreamYard. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, there it is. That's the right one. Anyway, there is a problem going on in our community, a lack of sharing information. I mean, what are you going to do when you look up and your loved one disappeared? We can't act like we're too far from that happening to any of us. What would you do if you look up and then your daughter next week, and I hate to say that, or your son walks down the street to their friend's house and then they disappear? We definitely know it's organ trafficking. We know that. We know it's organ trafficking. I mean, that's pretty common sense. We know what's going on. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. It's clear. There's just no way that many African American men that are young and majority women, 97,000 women, just poof, pop, and disappear, and nobody talks about it, and nobody cares about it. Here's the crazy part about it. We have a lot of successful African American women that should be talking about this. There should be more women talking about this. Melody said a full war breaks out, we will go black, no internet, phones. They will want to stop anyone knowing what's going on. Absolutely, Melody. Yeah, I mean, we see what's happening, and that, I think that's interesting with the whole ceasefire with Iran and Israel, and then all of a sudden, that whole situation looked like it's already kind of, since we talked about that a little bit, like it's kind of backfired a little bit. But anyway, we need to be sharing this information, ladies. You have daughters, you have nieces. Talk to them about their whereabouts. Make sure that they report to you when they leave and how they go. Make sure you train them and teach them how to be aware of their surroundings. Make sure you tell them not to just ride with any random person. Not that they would, but the hustles, the games are out there to capture our young ladies. The games are out there to capture our young ladies, and not just young ladies, because I looked at the list. Some of these women are older Black women, 30s, 40s. Yes, Sherry said, be safe, everyone. Thank you, Sherry. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we think there's one war going on, but there's also a war with, bodies going on, body snatching. There's a body snatching war going on, and specifically in the African-American community. Have you been seeing all the truck drivers that have been disappearing? Have you guys not been looking at that? The Black truck drivers? See, we can literally dedicate a whole year to this topic of Black folks disappearing. Period. A conversation nobody wants to talk about until their loved one gets snatched. Now they're on Facebook begging people to promote it and talk about it. Meanwhile, I'm right here talking about this when we should have more people in here talking about this subject that affects your families, my family, people we don't know's families. And nobody's concerned about it until it touches home. Then mama crying, auntie crying, cousins crying. And the daughter is gone. Somebody has grabbed them, and whatever happens to them, you're probably not going to see them again. They might not even be in this country for all we know. Or they might be fertilizer in somebody's front yard or somewhere after that, whatever's left. This is how serious we have to be of this subject. I know it's not a subject you want to hear, and I'm sure it's not a subject you want to talk about, which is why I appreciate the people that are on there listening to this, because I know the ones that are listening are going to pass that information on. Melody Dyer said, absolutely. I've told my grandkids to get their heads out of the phones all the time and pay attention to what's going on around them, whether walking or riding in a car. Listen, Melody, this how they be. Thank you for that, Cece. Melody, this is what I see when I'm driving around. They walking though. They almost running into cars. Not just kids, by the way, adults too. Everybody's so focused on the phone. If somebody snatched you, you wouldn't even see it coming. You wouldn't even see it coming. Come on, y'all. What are we doing? Ladies, you guys are the most conscious ones on this earth. How is it our daughters are disappearing? Ladies, you guys are the most conscious ones on this earth. How are our daughters disappearing? LT said, if I don't hear from them, I'll come. LT, there we go, family. That's what I'm talking about. We got to stay on them, LT, because this stuff that's happening is scary. Tracy Shorter said, this is a time of karma in Louisiana. She said, ancestors are busy with the fires that destroyed the Antebellum plantation, an orphanage, the Confederate Museum in DC. Wow, all that happened, Tracy? Are you serious? Love Jones, hey. Leanne said, I've heard of it all, but I don't hear any solutions and this is what I'm saying. Leanne, thank you. Or anyone really doing anything about these cases. And they end up cold cases because no one knows except the person who takes people away, and they'll do it fast. Absolutely. I talked to this homeless lady the other day, her and her daughter, Black lady. I told her to be careful. I said, listen, sis, please be careful. That's what I said to her. I said, please be careful, sis. She said, oh, I know the other night, me and my mom was out, a van kept driving around the parking lot, and I looked at them to let them know I saw them, and they drove off. Mama Sean said, it's sad too. It's sad to say, but everything you say is true. People should not be out alone anyway. They shouldn't. Listen, this girl was jogging the other night, and she was in the dark. Melody says that's why government started them to collect our info and to keep everyone distracted. Absolutely, Melody. Tracy Shorter said yes. LT said above the last one, please. Your comment. Hold on, I got to see because it's a lot of comments over. Let me see, LT. Hold on. Hold on, LT. Hold on. I don't hear from them at all. I'll contact them. Is that the one? Not that one, right? If I don't hear from them, I'll contact them. Okay, you had another one, I think, LT. LT said, I agree with you, Stone. When I host events at my house, I ask everyone to text, call when they reach their destinations. Brother, listen, that's me 100%. Oh, I'm going to tell you to call me when you get home or text me. I don't care if you're a girl, a guy, you're my friend. I'm going to say, text me when you get home to let me know you made it. Vanzola said it was a white man in Detroit, Michigan, about 5 years ago with a lot of body parts. The news picked it up and then you didn't hear it. I remember that. You didn't hear it no more. I remember seeing, you know what I think? I think I saw something on the news about that the other day. I don't know. If somebody was talking about it, something with Detroit and some body parts. I have to research that one, but I did hear about that story. Love Jones said, divorce since August. I made a new city in Charlotte. Charlotte's her new city, and I have 2 young boys, and I'm afraid to date right now because there's so many sick, twisted people. Love Jones, listen, sis, you are 100% correct, and you have every right to feel that way because those are the times that we're in right now. You don't want to put your kids in harm's way, of course. Hi, Patricia. Ladies, women have more power than you realize. And I'm going to tell you why. You women have the power. You run this country. Did you know that? Ladies, did you know that you run this country? Ladies, did you know that you run this world? Y'all know what I'm talking about. You guys run this country and you run this world. I'll take any lady right now and her husband's a billionaire. I'm going to give you an example. Right? If she said, honey, I'm very dissatisfied with what's going on with these missing African-American women. And this person's a very profound and important person. Do you know that that man's going to listen to her? LT said, I was at the park last week and it was getting dark. And I noticed that everyone left except this one young lady. I warned her that it's unsafe to walk the park after dark. She didn't appear to be what? Scared, you're saying, LT? Yeah, this generation ain't scared of shit until they get grabbed. He said she didn't appear to be concerned, so I waited for her to leave. Then I left the LT. Thank you for that, brother. Honestly, man. Thank you for that. You just don't understand. You just saved the young lady's life. She doesn't even realize what you just did. You just saved her life. You just saved that young lady's life. Women, do me a favor. You have more power than you realize. Your voice is bigger than it is. Although people might lead you to believe that you don't have a voice in certain cases. That's bullshit. As a man, let me say to you women, if my woman tells me some shit and she's very concerned with it and she's profoundly definite on it, and if she says, I don't like this and it bothers me, I'm going to say, honey, okay, what do you want to do about it? Let's fix this. Let's fix this, sweetheart. Let's fix this. Whatever we got to do to make you not feel that way, whatever we got to do to make you happy for those results, I'm going to do. Every man is that way. It's just not enough women that are making enough noise about this. Trust and believe. Y'all got power. There's too many 97 black women missing. That shit is just not cool. Chef Amazing, what's going on, family? 97, y'all think about this. And here's the scary part. That's what they reported in 2022. They won't give the numbers for 2025. That's just kind of freaking me out. They won't give the numbers for 2025 for some reason, but this is what they say. They say, it's, well, we know that there's a big number, you know, that we know for sure that there's an increasing number. We just don't have the number for 2025. How come you don't? Everything is research and statistic based anyway. Why don't we have the number for 2025 when we only have 2022 and that was 97,000? Leads me to believe that number has either doubled or tripled. Thank you, Chef Amazing. Chef, you know, we're missing too many black women. And I was talking about how they had taken this young lady back from the 60s and they experimented on her. It took parts of her body without her family's permission, and they used it to come up with, you know, different cures for cancer and other stuff, right? And the stem cell era and other things like that. And the family had to sue this biotech company for that. And how the experimentation on black people, the skulls that were sent back from Germany back to New Orleans to be buried because they were studying black people's skulls. And y'all think that shit ain't going on right now? 97,000 missing black women. Y'all really think that shit is just once again, y'all think they done bought an island and all 97,000 of those black women just chilling like, yeah, girl, shoot, it's fun. No. Y'all think they down south, some little town, 97,000 women, every last one of them there, they done put them all there and they chilling, living good? Hell no. Once again, they could be fertilizer. We already know they probably used for tests and body parts. We already know that stuff is happening. What I'm concerned with is why nobody is talking about this shit. And for black women to think that and all women to think they're obsolete from this happening to them. Churches should be talking about this. Love Jones said, oh, black women are the most unprotected, unsolved, and disrespected women on the earth. Absolutely. Chef Amazing said, what about the 300 black men ladies come missing from Oprah's show? Hey, Chef Amazing, come on, man. Shall we preach today? And today is what, Tuesday? Come on, y'all. Come on now, man. Come on. We have something here going on that is a problem. And if we don't, and women, and I'm going to say this to you again, you have more power than you realize. We have women on here that pass through my channel that might be married to politicians. We have women that are married to men that can swing a situation to a focus. We have women who are married to men who might be a sheriff or police chief. I'm talking to these women. That pillow talk shit is real. When women's husbands don't like what's going on, when they tell them, honey, I don't like this, we need to get to the bottom of it. That's when the changes are made. Women, you have more power than you realize. Start using your power. This needs to be something that should be talked about every single day on the news. 97,000 black women in 2022 was missing. 2025, they have not given us the polls. They have not given us the polls for 2025. Yeah. Harlot Locks, man, they took parts from the body, took whatever they wanted, didn't tell the family had to sue their asses. But look at all the cures that came up from them doing that. So you don't think they're still doing that? They're just stealing them now. They're like, fuck, we don't even want to ask the family. We're just going to steal them off the streets. These careless young black girls, they ain't paying attention no way. We get on TikTok and tell them we got a modeling job. And they're going to meet up with us. Love Jones, no problem at all. Be careful, please. We just get on TikTok and tell them, oh, you know what? You want to be in a music video? Make $500 today. They're going to show up to the location. These young girls want that money. They're going to show up and only realize they're showing up to an ambush. We have a real problem, you guys. We have a real problem. Thing is, like one of my subscribers just said a minute ago, which is what I've always said. What are we going to do about it? It's okay to talk about it, but if we're not doing anything about it, then it's like, it's wasted air? Am I just wasting air? You women have the real power, because us men going to do whatever you tell us to do. If you say we need to get to the bottom of this, and you say that, your husband, your boyfriend loves you, they're going to be like, all right, what you need me to do? We need to make noise about this. You guys have more power than you realize, ladies. Please use it. Please do not allow this to continue to happen. We could be one day, we could be 3 hours away from your loved one disappearing. This is some real shit to think about. Right now, as I'm talking, somebody is going to have a missing daughter today, tonight, 5 minutes from now, 10 minutes from now, next week, tomorrow. Don't play with this. This shit is serious, man. If y'all can get on here and hear people talk about P. Diddy and the shit that's going on, and you care enough about P. Diddy and all the other celebrity shit that's going on, Hollywood, J-Lo and all that bullshit, then you also care enough about your daughter, your granddaughter, your sister, your cousin, your mother, your neighbor, your best friend, because that's what this shit is. We don't know the hour that this shit is going to happen, but one thing for sure, at 97,000 Black women disappearing in 2022, we know damn sure that obviously it's a big business and is not going to stop. Auntie Mickey said they're stealing women and girls from grocery stores and drugstores. Yes, they are, Auntie Mickey, right here in Vegas. I can show you a list of women that have disappeared that are Black. Love Jones said, being ourselves. CC said, scary. Right here in Vegas, sometimes I go to Walmart and just look at the list. You guys ever do that? Do you ever just go to Walmart and look at that wall? They have it in every city. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. It's sad. Some person that's right as we're speaking just got kidnapped. And they're trying to figure out what's about to happen to their life. I got to give it to you in the virtual sense for you to see in the spiritual. Maybe if I shock you with that enough, it'll make you go, damn, wait a minute, I didn't think about it like that. Right now, as we speak, somebody's child, daughter, son, older woman, it doesn't matter because they're getting them all, has been grabbed. Now, I want you for a minute to put yourself in this situation. Love Jones said, we need to go back to respecting ourselves and others. Yes, we do. Auntie Mickey said, I was followed around the dollar store about a year ago. See what I'm saying? Get that pepper spray, Auntie Mickey. Chef Amazing said, I'm in Nebraska. They're snatching them. Wow. As soon as they walk up to the ice cream. What? Whoa, what? Chef Amazing, come on, tell me that's not true. Chef Amazing. So they pulling up to ice cream trucks and they're grabbing them as they are at the damn ice cream truck in Nebraska. The ice cream truck drivers are grabbing them. Wow. Listen, let's take a little trip for a moment. Imagine yourself in this scenario. And I got to give you the scenario. It's like a movie. Imagine yourself right now. Somebody grabbed you, right? You don't have a pow-pow. You don't have pepper spray. What are you to do? Imagine a woman who has never had to defend herself in her life and never even expect this to happen. Imagine a young girl right now being grabbed. What is the first thing you're going to think about? You're going to think you're fucked. This is it. This is it. This is it. Manzola said, Stone, check out the stories in Detroit, January 5, 2018. I sure will. I'm going to check that out. Hold on. January 5, 2018. Hold on. This is crazy, you guys. Hold on. You said January 5, 2018. Oh, January 7th. Oh, let me find that again. January 7th, 2018. See, the thing is, knowledge is power. Don't forget that. Is that Nizima Harris? Is that who this is, Benzola? Nizima Harris? LT said, I wish they would bring back PSAs. Do you know where your kids are? Yeah, they don't do that anymore. You know, this is what we have to do now. These are the PSAs. It's crazy. Sweet Rain said, last year a man told me he knows when I go walking. He said he hadn't seen me get my exercise on by walking. He said, you go walking Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It scared the hell out of me. Yeah, you might want to be careful with that motherfucker right there. Sweet Rain, that's weird. He's a weird stalker. CC said, I've learned a lot from my experiences. Okay, I'm looking at story up. Okay, here we go. The Detroit story. Now, I'm trying to see who told me about the story. Benzola was just talking about this story in Detroit, right? Naziah Harris disappears nearly 1 year later. She disappears. Harris disappears nearly 1 year later. This is weird. It's been nearly a year since a 13-year-old was missing in Detroit's east side. Dozens of searches have been conducted since then, but she has never been found. Her case almost went cold until later when Jarvis Butts was arrested in connection to Naziah's disappearance. Police began to investigate her case as a homicide. Prosecutors said Butts was supposed to turn himself in to authorities on a gun charge in January 2024, the day Naziah went missing, but the date was pushed back to February. Harris allegedly met up with Butts that day, and the two reportedly were Ypsilanti before returning back to Detroit, where Butts checked into a hotel. I guess that's a different part of Michigan. Text records allege that Butts knew Harris was pregnant and that he began searching online about abortion pills, and drinking red antifreeze. God damn. Authorities believe that Butts had been sexually abusing Harris since 2022 before killing her in January. Prosecutors said he had a history of targeting and befriending women to get close to and sexually abuse their young ones. It's not the only sexual abuse case Butts involved with. He also has been charged for reportedly sexually abusing two other girls, as well as convictions for sexual assault in 2005. Prosecutors call Butts a serial child rapist. I think I have to watch certain words on YouTube. A serial assayer who sexually assaulted an 8-year-old and girlfriend's daughter, who reportedly caught chlamydia from this. So this nigga was just ridiculous. Sorry, excuse me for saying it, y'all. He was charged on September the 27th, 2024 for habitual fourth-time offender. Damn, this dude was foul. So now here's the thing. So let's go deep with that. Melody said, let me share something with everyone. It can happen so easy, so fast. Can't go into the whole story, as was a nightmare. But my daughter was taken out of Ohio. My daughter was taken out of Ohio. I'm sorry, I'm just excited about reading this. My daughter was taken out of Ohio and sold what on the streets of Orlando? What? Oh, what? Oh, what? Some guys was trying to pimp her or what? Some PIs, Melody. I got a friend that just went through that, was going through that with her daughter. This guy is crazy in Atlanta. And she just tried to get her daughter, went to get her, and the guy wouldn't let her get her daughter. That's crazy. Brother Timothy. Hey, I'm sorry, Brother Timothy. I talked to my buddy. He is going to be going that way. He said he doesn't know if he's going that way today or tomorrow or next week. But I got your number. Finally, I got your email. So I'm going to call you when I get off this live. And we're going to call him on three-way, okay? So I can connect the both of you. Melody said she was 15 who took, he took her. Oh, okay. He was 15. The lady who took her was 28. Police wouldn't help me back. Then there was a PSA alert. Yeah, they're using women to take these girls, by the way. Because, of course, I mean, think about it. Like, a girl gonna, be quick to talk to a lady before she'll talk to a man. So that's another little game. They will get the women to holler at them, right? It's all a game. Now we're dealing with a combination of things. We could be dealing with, of course, we know people using body parts for whatever they want, right? But think about this. Think about this. Also, we got these PIs out here who are snatching girls to do their PI thing, doing the pimp thing, right? Melody said, I didn't know where she was for 3 years, alive or unalive. Horrible. That's scary. Listen, these PIs be out here doing their thing. So in between that, then what happens when, one of those guys get tired of the girl? I mean, it looks like that's what they doing these days, selling women these days. They get tired of them, they sell them to another PI. I mean, as according to my research, some of that stuff goes on for real. LT said, Stone, have you spoken on the Black Twins Pow Pow at Bell Mountain, Georgia? No, I haven't. I'm going to speak on that. Yeah, the Black Twins Pow Pow at Bell Mountain, Georgia. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. Melody said the lady who took her was a supervisor. What? Wait a minute. Hold on. Melody. What? Timothy, I will call you for sure when I get off, brother. Like 100% sure. Wait a minute. Okay, Melody, I'm tripping off of what I just read. Answer this question. Did they get that lady? Did they grab her? Man, this is crazy, man. Did they grab her? Is she in custody? Did they, I mean, what happened? Because she sounded like she was a PI. Either she was a PI or she had a dude she was working with to bring girls to him. Or she was just running her own little, she was the mama son of the situation. Dang, man. Auntie Mickey said, I had a similar situation when I was 16. Oh, I'm sorry, Auntie Mickey. That's crazy, man. Crazy, man. This whole thing is just nuts. This is nuts, you guys. Question is, what are we going to do about it? For everybody that's watching, okay? For everybody that's watching and everybody that will watch this video later, what are you going to do about your daughter, your granddaughter, even your mom? What voice are you going to use to let people know that we have an issue with Black women disappearing? And I say Black women because it's a majority of what's happening to, but it's happening to all kinds of women. It's just that in the Black community, there's a lot of it going on and nobody's talking about it. these 97,000 Black women that disappeared in 2022, and they're not giving the numbers for 2025 for a reason. Melody said, I got her back, thank God, but lasting trauma for rest, of course. Melody, so let me ask you a question. How is your daughter's spirit now? How's her spirit now after that experience? Did you have to put her in counseling? Wow. Auntie Mickey said, glad to have my life. He snatched me up off a busy street in Oakland. Damn, drove me to Lake Merritt and had his way at knife point. God damn, Auntie Mickey. Shit. I'm sorry to hear that. Damn, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Wow. Thank you for sharing your story with us, Auntie Mickey. That's deep. Imagine that's going on with a lot of young ladies right now. Tessie said at Timothy, a library, Walmart, Target, fast food, call it you can duck into for respite. Spite? Yeah. Drop in and get some water. I'm going to call you right after I get off of this, Brother Timothy. Don't worry. We're going to try to get you to Detroit. That's where you need to go, right? He said, Tessie, I'm in the middle of nowhere right now. Shade works. Man, shit. Where are you at right now? In North Carolina? Brother Timothy? Melody said, I had her arrested for not staying away from my daughter. When she got out, she got my daughter and left. Damn. What? Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Melody, like this shit is like a book. Okay, so you got your daughter back, right? And then the lady got out of jail, right? Am I correct? And then she still tried to get your daughter again to leave with her? And your daughter left with her? LT said, I want to help, but I don't know how to get started. So sad. Listen, Brother LT, we just spread the word to Black women, even if it's on your social media. Black women, be mindful when you go places. Be mindful for your daughters when they go places. Make your daughters let you know where they're going. You know, we just have to remind Black women to be mindful that they're being watched. Young Black men to be mindful they're being watched. And that people taking people for body parts is real these days. I think if we remind people, they'll go, oh, wait a minute, you're right. Wait a minute. You say absolutely up to, wow. So your daughter doesn't realize that this lady is not good for her to be around? She hasn't pieced that together yet? That lady's got in her head, Melody. She's in her head big time. Yes, it is, CC. Melody said she's not the same person she was when she left. Yeah, she done programmed her. You know what she did? She stripped her mind and she reprogrammed her. That's what she did. Try to turn her against her family, all that little stuff that's part of the game when it comes to people getting in women's heads, especially young women. She might think she's our good friend. She might really think this woman cares about her, but in reality, this woman doesn't. P, what's going on? I'm live on YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna call you back as soon as I get off the live. I appreciate that, family. Thank you. Okay, gotcha. I think people like to hear me mention their name on the live because they call me and they know I'm on my live. This is a friend of mine. He knew I'm on the live. He gonna call me anyway. All right, Pete. Thanks for the call. I appreciate that. He was telling me if somebody watches my live and they say they learn a lot off of watching my live. Whoever it is watching my live, Pete just called me. Thank you for watching the live. I appreciate you. Melody said this. Shrine said this. I was a carer for the severely disabled and abused. I've seen a lot and healed more. Some stories were horrific. I love them all as family to this day. Wow. Shrine, thank you for sharing that. Auntie Mickey said diabolical. And then Melody said, yep, like a very bad dream. Damn, Melody said she got her hooked on. See, I knew it. She had to figure out a way to keep her. So, of course, she used that to keep her. She locked her in on that to keep her. That shit's so sad. Yeah, Timothy, we love you, brother. Shit, I'm so sorry, man. It shit bothers me, brother Timothy. Leanne said, the guy that stalked me had a white van, but acted like he wanted to do something bad to me because women in that year were being unalived and left like that. In that time, 3 women were gone forever. Damn. So you see how many of you ladies have this experience with this same thing we're talking about? You could have become part of that, the body part situation. Think about this, ladies. This is why it's important for us to make sure that you pay attention to your surroundings. Black women in particular, you better make sure you make noise about these 97,000 Black women missing and Black men as well. It's the problem in our community, man. If we don't do nothing about it, it's not going to get any attention that it should get. I just don't see it. Now, y'all know if this is 97 now, I'm not, once again, it's not a black and white thing, but it is. If there was 97,000 white women and girls missing, this shit would be an uproar. The president would be involved. This would be at the White House, CNN, Fox News, everybody be talking about this shit every day. Can we call it for what it is? Is it okay? Is it okay for us to call it for what it is? I don't know, y'all. Y'all probably think Stone just be talking, man. Stone just be talking. I'm sorry. I'm just passionate about certain shit, and this one bothers me. Timothy Pot said it's anybody else buffering every 10 seconds, or is it just me? I think I was too. I still have a 50 hashtag space bag of paperwork, Melody Dyer said. Leanne said they were 2 brothers that Leanne said they were 2 brothers that I shouted out to. They tackled him and the police took him away. And thanks to my brothers for being real. Oh, good. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Come on, we got to stand up. You heard what Bob Marley said. Auntie Mickey said, don't forget the Green River killer. He unalived many young sex workers back then. One of his victims was from my community. Wow. Damn, man. This shit's crazy, you guys. There is an issue going on. We went for subject of the day was about the 19 skulls that were brought back from Germany to Louisiana. Then I went into telling you about them taking this young African-American lady and they took her, they didn't even ask her family's permission. They took cells from her body to experiment with cancer, and they came up with cures that actually helped people, right? That actually healed and helped people, and the family sued their asses. And they won. But how many people are going through that right now that we don't even know about, right? How many people have dealt with that and we have no idea that it's even going on? How many? We don't know because we don't pay attention. We want a voice when it's too late, you guys. This is the time you have a voice to speak up and make a difference. I should be seeing tons of TikTok videos talking about this issue. Or tomorrow, Somebody will see this and they'll go on their live and somebody in their family's missing. And then they'll be sharing my video of me talking about this shit. See, it's not just about the experimentation. The experimentation shows you a connection to this shit happening for real and how long it's been happening. And shit goes all the way back. And it still happens to this day. And once we stop dancing and singing, then we could possibly pay attention to what's really happening in the Black community. Because what's going to happen when they need another 97,000 women and men? Where do you think they're going to come and get them from? When they need another 97,000 men and women, where they going to go? I'm waiting. I'm waiting, you guys. Where are they going to go? When they need another 97,000 women for body parts, where are they going? Where is there a lot of concentrated Black folks at? Just about every city. There's some higher and greater in other cities. You don't think they're coming to your town? You say your people too were returned back? Because I spoke about Shrine, I spoke about the 19 people that were returned back to Louisiana from Germany. Were your family were your family members a part of that? Melody said, I think I heard they found 62 kids in Florida today. Hopefully they were alive. Melody, were they found alive? I hope so. What are you guys going to do when they come looking for 97,000 more Black women, young women, and older women? Black folks, listen to me again, clearly. What are you going to do when they need to re-up? They need more body parts. They need more bodies. What y'all going to do? How you going to protect your wife, your daughter? Women, how you going to protect yourself when you don't know what you can't see? I already talked about Henrietta Lacks and the cells that they took from her body. They call it the HeLa cell. It said the HeLa cell had a profound impact on medical science since they were first taken from Lacks in 1951. That's what started this conversation. I talk about Germany. We went into that. They took those cells out of her body in parts, without asking her family. The family sued them. So this is what's been going on with Black people for years. The 19 Black people, that their skulls were cut off and taken to Germany for experimentation and to study. 97,000 Black women modern day missing. So we went from the 1800s to 1960 to 2022 to now 2025, and this shit's still happening. So you really believe that they're not using Black folks for body parts and melanin and other shit, eyes and kidneys and hearts and all kinds of shit? Shrine says, Stone, I'm First Nation, Australian, German, has taken my ancestors for study on their brains and bones. The Germans was having fun back then, wasn't they? They was having some fun. I mean, they was just digging into brains and trying to see who was the smartest and all. They was just on some crazy shit. All I can say, women, keep your head on a swivel. Ladies of every race, keep your head on a swivel. Don't park next to no white vans or any van. Park closer to the store. Keep your mace on you. Black women, I'm gonna say this to you. Better be careful. Don't think you know, a lot of our sisters overconfident and cocky because they feel like they can fight too. That's another thing I want to say. Because you're a sister don't mean you can fight. Can't fight what you can't see. Stop allowing your cockiness to put you in situations. What do you think those 97,000 women had in common? Could it be the cockiness? Could it be this, ain't nobody gonna touch me shit? Let somebody put their motherfucking hands on me and see what's gonna happen. You don't think that's how a lot of the older ones felt? Like, I wish a nigga would. because that's how sisters be. But you can't see what's going to happen if you don't know it's going to happen. Can't see it coming if you're not prepared. Can't see it coming if you don't believe it. And you can't see it coming if you don't know. So that spirit of cockiness can get you. I mean, honestly, think about it. What do they all have in common besides the younger ones that didn't know the game? But the older ones, how did they get them? Because some of them are 30 and 40. I've seen a list of all of them. There's a lot that was 30 and 40. How did they get them? That over cockiness. Our sisters, you know, you can let it. A sister would tell you, put your goddamn hands on me, I'm gonna whip your ass. Absolutely, Leanne. You can't protect yourself from what you can't see coming and what you don't know. Thus, the reason they say preparation. You stay ready, you don't have to get ready. As a martial artist, my instructors always trained us to always expect the unexpected. So when I walk out of my house, I am always expecting the unexpected so I don't get caught off guard. That is the real purpose. Go read a book called Sun Tzu, The Art of War. It'll explain all those things to you. Mpxone said, we always say, don't park near kidnapper's van. That white van that opens on the side. Mpxone, listen, and it's so real. Let me tell you how many times I've said at Walmart, right? And I've said in my car, right? And I might take a family member shopping or something, right? Through the years. And I said, you know, I'm gonna keep my ass in this car. Go ahead and go in the store. Why? What's wrong? I'm just sit here and watch this van. And I'll sit there. I get out my car. I walk around the van. I got my stuff on me on my hip. And I'm looking at the van, right? And I might stand by my car and just look at them. And typically these vans are weird because some of them don't have a back window or a side window, right? Those kind of vans. But this one particular van, it had a lot of steel work done on it, like metal stuff by the door, heavy metal locks by the back door. But it didn't have a refrigerator on top. Typically, if it's a meat van for transporting meat or anything that's going to perish, it would have a air conditioner on top to keep it cool. This van didn't. And I've seen many vans like this. So I'll sit and stare at them until eventually they'll leave. Or I'll report the van. Love Jones said, I watch out for those white vans also too at Walmart. It's blacked out and then they just sit. Yeah, Love Jones. Do you see, you feel what I'm saying? I tell women all the time, stop pulling up to Walmart and not looking around. Stop parking far away. This is what I say all the time. So much so, I'm sure it becomes redundant to the person. They're like, I'm tired of you saying that, Stone. The more you know, LT says, LT, that's the key. The more you know is the real key. Timothy said, you see a white van sneak up and flatten their tire. Hey, Brother Timothy, I'm right there with you, especially after I make sure that they, why you got locks on the back door and modified locks, by the way, and the side door is so heavy and it's reinforced and you barely could see and you got that little cage behind the seat. I'm like, ooh, you on something. For sure. For sure. You are on something and it's not good. Listen, you guys, there is an issue going on in the world, we know, but there's a huge profit margin for body parts. So let's be aware of that there's a huge profit margin for body parts. And that's the time and space we're in now. Black, white, or indifference. That's what we're dealing with. Women, please be careful. Men, please be careful. Nobody's really obsolete. Women are just easier targets. They know men are going to put up a real serious fight. Mpxone said, my kids say I traumatized them by having them watch Criminal Minds. They grew up knowing monsters look just like us. You know what? I'm glad you did that. Mpxone, you did the right thing because now they're skeptical about everything. And that's exactly what you want them to be. Damaged Kisses says, it's very dangerous I've had a few men try to follow me home while driving. I admit I need to pay attention to my surroundings more. My male friends are always giving me weapons and mostly knives. Damaged Kisses said, I just put them aside in a drawer. I have a collection. I have a collection of knives there, size. Listen, just keep something on you, pepper spray to protect yourself. Please, those people care about you. Damaged Kisses. Melody Dyer says, Stone, another great subject. Thank you for all the enlightening conversations. Very informative. We all can learn from each other. Find out more word of mouth as society wants to keep all hidden. There it is. You heard what Melody just said. Timothy Potts said, in Denver, Colorado, homeless people are going missing every day. They say it's traffickers kidnapping them and them being homeless. No one is looking for them. You see that bullshit? Now that's coming from somebody that can give you that knowledge. Brother Timothy is unfortunately dealing with those issues, so he sees it every day. And we pray to God that we can get Brother Timothy out of that situation. Listen, you guys, Stone Paxton Music and Life Blog, thank you for hanging out with me today. Y'all know how we always do, man. It's always fun talking about things that we should know, that we don't know, and the knowledge that we need to pass on to people. Now, we're going to bring some happy people up, and y'all know how we get down. Listen, for all those that are members and don't have this CD, if you want this, email me. You get this for free. You got to pay for shipping and handling. So email me and I'll tell you how, and we'll get this out to you. As well as the Christopher Williams vinyl. I have 2 different options of CDs you can have of mine. You just choose which one. Just say 1 or 2. One with the close-up picture and the one with the black and white picture. But listen, I'm going to catch you guys tomorrow, 12:30, same time. Happy people. Let's get into it. But before I do that, let me thank those that have donated to my channel. Sherry, thank you for the $50 donation. Boss Lady, thank you for the $5 donation. Always lovely that you guys support me and you show me love by donating to the channel. And any of you that have donated to Cash App today, I'll see your names and I'll shout you out on the next. I appreciate you guys. Peace and love. And let's happy people up out of here, y'all. Y'all get up and dance, man. Come on. Brother Timothy, I know you in that heat, so I'm not going to ask you to dance. But as soon as I get off this live, I'm going to call you, check my email for your number, and I'm going to give you a call. Happy people.
Cause I just wanna see happy people every day. Now dance. Right now, I'd like to introduce to you Larry White on When You Be Talking. Happy people.